whatever. But she would like come in like they were eating my fries, like they ain't got no money.
They was eating my food at the airport. Them bees was hungry. So then Tokyo got annoyed too and was like, I ain't finna be paying for no grown ABs.
Unnecessary.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Fatu. If you guys know me, if you're new, welcome to my channel. And this is...
Hi, I'm Kanaya.
She's been on my channel many of times, but today we just came out from eating, y'all, and we decided to do a story time on our trip to Italy back in 2019. And
I think we need to start with a disclaimer. Disclaimer, we changed some of the names just for the privacy of people.
Yeah. Some names that people like our friends will say their names, right? But the add-ons will change their names.
Will change their names because this will be quite entertaining. And this has been a long time coming. She's been wanting to do this for a while.
Yes, it's been years.
I'm like, let's just do it. What are we waiting for? So this is our interpretation of the trip.
Right.
There were how many women? 5?
9 of us. You're talking about 5.
It's been how many years? I forgot.
9 of us. We went in 2019, so it was spring because we went in March of 2000, the end of March into early April.
9, aka way too many women.
Yes.
Yeah, because I forgot. Golly, so many personalities. Yes. So okay.
Whew. All right. So it started off. It was supposed to be me, Kanaya, our friend Naisha, and Kiara. So that was 4 of us.
Correct.
So then Kanaya's sister came, that's Kayla, so that's 5, and then her friend Tokyo, so that's 6.
Yes.
So then
backstory on Tokyo. This is the first time. This is like a childhood friend, somebody, you know, like sandbox type of friend. Never went anywhere with her before. I don't even think she's been out the country. That was probably her first time going out the country. And yeah, so that's just like a backstory on that. But that's childhood friend, you know, talked to her most of the time on the phone, never really like went out, you know, besides like dinner as kid. I gotta get his backstory because I was surprised about how this thing unfolded as well with a lot of the behavior, and it blew me.
Yes, the backstory makes sense.
Yeah, so I had to just throw that out there. Right. So this is the first time that this person had traveled out the country and traveled with me. So disclaimer for people who travel and like try to merge different friend groups. Like me and Fatu traveled multiple times.
Don't do it.
We couldn't even make it to freaking get drinks in the city with just trying to get everybody together, like to fill the vibes out. So that was already
it was bad. All right, so that was 6 of us. So me, her, my friend Kiara, and then our friend Aisha. So that's 4. Her sister 5, Tokyo 6. Yes. And then our friend Aisha, her friend Shantae came. So that's 7. And then Shantae's 2 cousins. They came.
Right, and we got cool names.
So that's 9.
Mount Vesuvius, and y'all understand why we named one of them Mount Vesuvius, and then the other one
is Brittany. Yes. Cool. So that's 9 women. Okay. So just the backstory. The only people that knew each other was me, her, my friend Naisha, and my friend Kiara. So that's the 4 of us, and Kayla. So 5.
But my sister never traveled with my group either.
Right, she never traveled with us. But
first time out the country too. Let me clear that up. Yeah.
We knew her. We hung out with her sister, so that was no issue. Right. As far as Tokyo, that was her first time traveling with us. I've met her once beforehand, but as far as the other 3 women, so my friend, her friend, and the 2 cousins. We hadn't met the 2 cousins at all, but we did meet the one friend. I think on one occasion.
Yes.
Yeah, Shawnee.
Housewarming. You met
I said Shantae, but Shawnee. The names is going to confuse me because it's makeup names.
I met her once. I don't even remember meeting her. So like our engagement clearly wasn't like conversing with each other. It was just we were at Naisha's housewarming and she was there. Right. I couldn't even remember that I met her until she was like, yeah, you met her before. And I was like, I did. Because I was a little leery, and she said that she met her before and she was cool, and I was like, are you sure? You know what I'm saying? Because once these people started adding on, it was like, oh, this one won't come. Oh, this one won't come, to the point where we had to change the houses. And
we had to change the Airbnb because we had already picked out the Airbnbs for where we wanted to stay. So just a little information about where we was going. We was going to Italy, and we were going to Naples, We were going to 4 cities, but we were staying in 3 cities. 1 city was a day trip. So we were staying in Naples, we were staying in Venice, and we were staying in Rome. And we were doing a day trip to Capri while we were in Venice. So we already had all 3 of our Airbnbs picked out. And then as the groups kept getting bigger, now it was like, okay, well, now we have to find bigger spaces. And if you know Europe, you already know that finding large accommodations in Europe is hard. All right, so we was like, okay, well, we'll try to figure out bigger accommodations or whatever. So it was like, okay, well, let's have a meetup where everybody can meet each other before we go. And that didn't even happen. Tokyo. So my friend Tokyo was standoffish about it, like wasn't really caring to be engaged with other people, which was weird to me because I'm like, yo, we should like meet everybody, go get a drink before we go. We were trying to pick restaurants. She was very picky, like, so we were going to go to Mad Max. If you're from Philly, everybody know Mad Max, so we was going to go there.
Mad Max.
And everybody loved Mad Max,
like a Mexican place,
right? Margaritas, tacos, fajitas, all types of stuff,
right?
And the Margaritos bus
A1. So yeah, so we tried to choose that, and also, she's a vegan. Oh yeah. So she doesn't eat anything. But it's like, if you don't eat anything, you can get some vegetables. Like there was, you know, other options. So we were even still trying to be accommodating. Like, okay, well, because you have like a different diet, like where would you like to go?
Right. Let's go somewhere else. It didn't have to be Mad Max.
Honestly, it was just difficulty from the beginning. Like, oh, I don't know. We were in a group chat. They were like, she was leaving like, oh, I don't want to be in this chat. Instead of just muting it like a normal person would, it was just like coming across a little like nasty over the text message. And we all know how 9 different women, people interpret it different
personalities.
So
yes, and it wasn't even about like eating. It was more so everybody get to know each other, get to meet each other before we go on this trip. We were there for 9-10 days, like almost 2 weeks, like a week and a half. It was like, let's just get to know each other. If you don't eat, then you can eat when you leave. Like just get something to drink and call it a day. Exactly.
And you didn't have to eat anything, right? So that was one of the difficulties, at least from my perspective with my friend, difficulties, because I just couldn't understand, like, why wouldn't you want to? Like, I wanted to, because I didn't know them fully, and like I wanted to engage with them and not be that's the first time that we you know, meeting somebody. But nevertheless, it was like, okay, well, whatever, if that don't work, it is 9 women, people got different schedules, it's understandable. Exactly. So that was like a flag on the play.
Big red flag on the play that we should have like really paid attention to before.
Second flag before we left was the other 3 women that came with our friend Aisha, her family members and cousins and all of them. Like, we already kind of was building an itinerary, and this word itinerary.
Ooh, the itinerary is going to come into play.
When we travel,
I got the heat off the itinerary.
It was coming at my girl. So we're very like organized. We leave downtime for like sleeping and resting and like just random things.
But we like to have sort of an idea of what we're going to do each day when we're there, just so we're not like trying to figure it out and wasting time while we are there.
Correct. So if you coming on to somebody else's trip, it's kind of like we were open to add things, because I even added like different, like Capri. We ain't know like Capri. I've seen Capri or show I watch. I'm like, let's stop there. So we were open for it, but it was almost like they was trying to come in and change the itinerary, which was like, excuse me, you know what I'm saying?
And then like add their stuff on, and then like take out some of the stuff that we wanted to do.
Like, which was kind of weird, because it was so many of us. Like, if you wanted to do something else a day, we didn't have to do it together. Like, y'all could have went off and did something.
And we did say that, like, if there was something that somebody didn't want to do, we don't have to be together all 9 women 24/7 of the day. Like, we can split up, we can meet later on, do things together, whatever. So
one of the things that was on there was Mount Vesuvius. Mount Vesuvius,
which is a volcano.
Yes, it's a volcano. You can climb it or whatever like that. I don't think it erupted in so many years. Yeah, so that's like something to do out there that one of the young ladies wanted to do. And we were for it.
And we were going to do it, even though I don't think we were like 100% like, I want to do this, but I was like, I'm the type of person where we're going to do what everybody wants to do. Like, we're not going to say, oh, well, I want to do this. And it's a group trip, so we all gotta come together. Exactly. So it was like, okay, sure, we'll do it.
Some other things that they wanted to add on was like
a canoe. kayaking, and so everybody knows Venice. You know that they have the gondolas.
We already had that on.
We already had that plan. We were going to do the gondola that was set in stone. One of the girls, Shawnee, she wanted to do a kayak, and I was like, I didn't even know they had kayaking in Venice, and it was like, what? I want to do a gondola. Like, that's the thing you do when you go to Venice. Like,
you gotta insert some pictures of.
Yeah, I'm gonna insert pictures and and I also vlogged it.
Yes. So yeah, so that was kind of like weird, but we was like, okay, but then she wanted to do like a cooking class. Now for me, when I'm on vacation, I know how to cook at home. I want to be served. So that was nothing that I wanted to do at all. It was like a no for me. It was like, y'all could go ahead and learn how to make pasta. Like, I'll just take mine out the box and whip some sauce up with it. I'm okay with that. So that wasn't something that really moved me. Like, I wanted to have them cook for me, like authentic pastas or different authentic dishes and things like that. So that was something that I was like, yeah, no. Like, you know what I'm saying? At first I was, but then they was giving like attitude a little bit over the text messages. Started becoming very
the group message before we even left was
was very catty.
It was becoming too much. Like, we wanted to do a spa. Like, who don't want to get massages and stuff on vacation? And they agreed to it initially, and we agreed to Mount Vesuvius initially, but then closer to the time it was like they didn't want to do it. So we were like, well, we're still going to do the spa, like whatever. There was a little mishap as far as the group text when the itinerary started becoming an issue. And
there's a lot of sarcasm.
Tokyo kind of said in the group chat, like, y'all bent. It was, I forget what she said exactly, but it was kind of to the fact to the three friends.
You didn't keep the
I probably deleted it because I was over everybody. Well, them.
No, we all was over everybody at the end, to be honest.
But she kind of made some kind of sarcastic message to them, basically saying like, y'all knew what the itinerary was. It got real smart to the point where like I had to call my friend Aisha and was like, please ignore it, and please tell your friend and her cousins to please ignore it, because it was that sarcastic and like disrespectful.
And it wasn't, she was speaking for herself. It wasn't like something that we all agreed upon, even if we felt that way. Like, I'm not the type. This friend of mine, she's a real big personality, and she say the things that people thinking, but it's like, girl,
you don't gotta say everything. So like, some things you can just keep to yourself and just keep it pushing. But she was just not saying any little thing to the point where like it was already bad energy before we even left. All right, so we booked our trip. We had already booked our flights, so the additional people, they hadn't booked yet, so they ended up booking their flights, and then they booked, and then so we booked the flights first. They booked their flights, and then we all booked the Airbnbs together. So we were flying Iberia from JFK. So it went from JFK to Madrid to Rome. Correct. They flew British Airways from JFK to London to Rome. Yes. So when we all went to JFK together. We get to JFK and we do like a little boomerang on Instagram with our passports.
Before we even made it to JFK, remember it was the Uber situation.
So we took the megabus from Philly to New York, and then took an Uber from the megabus stop to JFK. And did we all get on the same one? No, they had to go before us because their flight, something happened where their flight had got canceled the day of, so they had to get rebooked the same day but an earlier flight. So they had to like change their megabus tickets, leave a little bit earlier. So it was Tokyo. It was all of the additions, four.
Besides my sister, because she flew out.
Yeah, her sister flew the next day. So we all flew out on Friday. Her sister flew out Saturday. So when them four got there early, of course they had to get an Uber to go from the megabus stop in New York to JFK. And Tokyo basically was letting us know that it was a big issue as far as getting the Uber, and
they tried to squeeze in like
a Uber X, which is like a regular sedan type car, but it's 4 women
with luggage,
and then you have a driver, and then you have luggage. There's no way that
big
4
luggage
women and all big luggage and carry-ons is fitting in a regular sedan. Like, it's common sense you had to order an XL.
Correct. They didn't want to pay no additional money to get a bigger vehicle, so somehow they squeezed in there.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but somehow they found a way and they made it to the airport. Whatever. So Tokyo was kind of annoyed about that, because so we get to the airport. They're in the British Airways terminal. We're at the Iberia terminal. We do a boomerang on Instagram with our passports. So once we land, Tokyo was basically letting us know that they were making comments that we did a boomerang with our passports and we didn't do one all together. Mind you, where Iberia terminal was and where we were nowhere near them. Like, once they got to JFK, once we left Philly and they left Philly, like we didn't see each other until we landed in Rome. So how are we going to do a boomerang with our passports together at the airport when we didn't fly the same airline and didn't get to the airport together? So one of the cousins was actually on our flight, but the other two and the other two in Tokyo was on the same flight, because remember she was on our flight because she met up with us at the when we was checking in. So she walks up, so Shawnee walks up, so we're checking in at the airport, and she walks up and only goes to her friend Naisha.
Now for me, let me just speak from my experience. I thought that she was just like a regular person, like rushing to the counter, like trying to, you know, maneuver to get on her. I didn't even know who she was at first, because remember, I don't remember like physically what she looked like. I literally thought it was a woman trying to like hurry up and make her flight, because she went straight up to the window and she was just sitting there. Now our friend Naisha also like didn't introduce her and be like, hey, this is Shani or anything like that. It was like after a few minutes and I seen them sitting next to each other, and I was like, is that, you know, the girl? And she was like, yeah, that's her. And I was like, initially in my mind, I'm like, that's rude. Like,
yeah,
you know it was very much
like when you came up, we was all together, and she knows me. I think she did speak to me like after she spoke to Naisha. I can't remember, but I know she didn't speak to you and Kiera.
I was like, okay. You know,
so that was a little awkward. I remember her feeling awkward about that. Like, oh, is that her? And I'm like, yeah, that's her. It was like, you see us all together. You know, we all going
like, hey y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all made
and we all staying
airport.
Together. It's not like we were staying in separate accommodations. We were staying together the entire time.
Yeah, that was off-putting for me.
Yeah. So we get on the flight, boom, landed in Rome. Now it's time for us to, we were all meeting up, and then we were going to take the transportation to go to Naples. So they come over, and Mount Vesuvius, was she in a wheelchair? She was sitting down at one point, but I can't remember if they put her in a wheelchair or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, something for them to get through the airport.
Yeah, for her to get through the airport. And we're like, well, what's going on?
Right.
So they wasn't really saying much at first. But Tokyo, which is her friend,
right,
she basically was hinting to us like she has some type of health issue or something going on where she needs a wheelchair. So we're confused, like, what? Like, why she ain't tell us this? Like, we going on this trip and we had no clue that you had some type of health condition. And it's not a problem at all. Like, it's life. People go through things, but that's something you definitely want to tell us, because if something happens to you while we're on this trip.
Yeah, my initial thinking, you know, people do it all the time when they go to the airport. They'll say something wrong with them to get like escorted faster, or like if they late, because I got a friend that do that too. So initially I didn't even think like that she really had a problem. I just thought she was like kind of finessing a little bit to get them through faster. I really didn't know, because nobody mentioned a health condition, not even our friend who like knew us, and nobody said anything. So it was just like, oh, okay. I just kind of giggled about it, like, well, at least I got through the airport faster. You know, I didn't think too much into it. Until Tokyo was kind of like, you know, coming in the room telling us like,
and I think like while we were, because the ride from Rome to Naples was probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. So she was texting us, letting us know like, oh, she has a heart condition. And she basically said it once they got to the airport, and she had to get wheelchair assistance. And it was like, oh, okay. All right, so we land, we get to Naples, we checking into the Airbnb.
Very excited.
Yeah. The first night was actually a good night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went, we checked in, we showered,
everybody got their rooms.
Everybody got their rooms. It was no issues, because we had already set it up beforehand, which people was going to get which rooms. Well, not like specifically, but like who would get the main room.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So like 3 Airbnbs. It was like, okay, I'll get the main room in Venice. You'll get the main room in Naples, and then Aisha, and then we'll get the main room in Rome.
Right.
I think, so that's how it was. Now as far as all of the other rooms, it was like whatever, but as far as the main room, we were the main people on the trip that planned it, so we was getting the main rooms. So the first night was cool. We went to dinner. What else did we? I think we just did dinner, because we were kind of tired, and it was late by the time we got
it was late, because the first restaurant we went to, like, I don't even think they even had it anymore.
Yeah, like, it was popping.
They're very like
it was
fresh
lines
things
outside.
We tried to get pizza from this favorite pizza place, but we just ended up like singing outside and just like drinking and eating a lot of different desserts, and just like vibing out for the first night, just in the city, just excited to be there. Like,
very
it was
much excited.
So everybody was cool. We made it. Everybody made it safely. It was a good first night. Good first night.
All right, we back. My battery had died. So we was talking about the first night. So yeah, the first night was good. Now we're on to the second day. So the second day is when Kayla came. So Kayla is her sister.
Yeah.
My
sister out of pocket too. This is not, there's no whole bars. I'm gonna tell you, everybody was out of pocket.
Yeah.
My little sister came on Wi-Fi. I think it's her first year in college, I think. So she was in college.
Phone was cut off.
She came across the whole damn country on Wi-Fi. So we went to the airport to find her, the station, like wherever it was.
Because she had to fly into Rome, and then she took the bus from Rome to Naples.
Right.
So phone cut off, only on Wi-Fi. So she shouldn't even came on the trip. Period. Like, girl, if your phone not
nervous, thinking somebody want to traffic her. People kill me when they like. Ain't nobody looking for y'all. Like they looking for young tenderonis. Like now she's young, but it's like, girl, they not checking for you. You young and broke. Like it's fine. Like
child. So the whole time she's communicating with us on Wi-Fi, letting us know like where she at. Right. So she's like, okay. She turned on her location, so I'm following her location. She sent it to me.
Can't speak a lick of Italian.
Can't speak no Italian. So she's like, I'm gonna get to Naples at such and such time. The bus station is right behind the train station in Naples. Boom. Train station was in walking distance, so we was able to walk there.
Yes.
So we're walking there, and we're like, yo, where are these buses at? We asking people, everybody's confused. They don't know. We walking around the whole train station, outside, inside, everywhere, trying to figure it out. And we're like, we can't call her because now that she's off the bus, she doesn't have any phone access.
We was basically lingering around, walking around, hoping that we find her.
Yep. So she had to, thank God, she asked some Italian person to use their phone, and luckily they spoke English.
Yes.
So she used their phone, and I didn't answer, and it was her. So we were able to finally locate her. Boom. So we go back to the Airbnb. So she came later on in the night. So during the day we had went out. We went to
where we go?
So we went to brunch. After brunch, we were going to do the hop on hop off bus tour. So we went to the brunch spot. We ate. They had to sit us at 2 separate tables because the space was small,
very small.
Right. Yeah. So after that, we was like, all right, we're gonna do the hop on hop off bus tour. So we leave. We get in the Uber to go to the hop on hop off bus thing, and then now Brittany is like, y'all, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Right.
So we like, yo, we just left the restaurant. Like, why you ain't go to the bathroom?
Was it a McDonald's close by?
It was like we were in an area where there were like stores and restaurants and stuff. It was like, well, just go to the bathroom here. She had to take a number 2, but didn't want to do it at one of the places. She wanted us to take a cab all the way back to the Airbnb just so she could go to the bathroom, and then we come back. And we're like,
be kidding me.
No.
Like, number 2, number 1, all that type of stuff is like normal human being thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the toilet is used for what it's used for. Whomever toilet it is, you're out the country and gotta see these people again.
Exactly.
Disclaimer: she was a vegan too.
Yep, she was.
So she probably had her vegetables and stuff, you know, moving through her, but. Nobody's going back.
Yeah, nobody
we just paid this money to get here.
Exactly.
We're trying to sightsee. You know, why would you expect all of us to come back?
All 9 of us to pay money to go back to the house for you to go to the bathroom, and then we pay money again to come back. And it wasn't like she was offering like, I'm gonna pay for the Uber or the taxi.
Right. She was
like,
better off asking us to buy her like baby wipes. You know, like I would have agreed to that. Like we put some cent up for baby wipes.
And it wasn't about the money because like that wasn't about nothing. It was just like it just wasn't making sense. No. Like it wasn't.
That wasn't on the itinerary.
Right. So I had to put that part in because that was like that's gonna come into play as we keep going on. So all right, Kayla comes later on that night. We get her finally find her. We get back to the Airbnb. We all, you know, shower, change, get dressed. We go out to eat.
Yes.
So we go out to eat, and this is night 2.
Yes.
Kayla's night 1. So this is where all hell broke loose. So at this point, Tokyo already had underlying issue from the group messages with the 3 friends, the 3 cousins.
Right.
So we go out to eat.
Tokyo is difficult.
Yeah.
She just was finding things that like things that you can kind of just like whatever. Like even when they were at the airport prior to that, like they were eating her food, but she offered to share them food, and they were like, you know, snacking off of maybe French fries and stuff like that. But like she made that gossip.
Yeah.
I'm not that. Like, if I offer you something, it's not gossip. It's just like, here, eat some of my fries or whatever. But she would, like, come in, like, They were eating my fries like they ain't got no money.
Wait, and then later on down the line when we realized that these cousins didn't
have money, it was like we couldn't even be mad.
And then we was
She's
like
saying
laughing.
things that were true, but it was just like, girl, be quiet.
And then it was just so funny because she was like, and then they was eating my food. I'm all spitting. They was eating my food at the airport. Them bees was hungry.
Oh my god.
Alright, so we get to the restaurant. This is night 2, the night Kayla came. And so the table that we were at, it was a long table because it was 9
and narrow.
And then it was like towards the wall.
Yes.
So like the people who were sitting on this side, your back was against the wall, and then some of us were on this side.
Correct.
So like Tokyo went first, and then like the cousins went, and then like
it was no order.
It was no order. Everybody was just filling in as you wanted to. So like I think we were all on the same side, and then Tokyo and the cousins were on the other side. So we sat down there, we ordering, out of nowhere, Tokyo was like, y'all, I'm claustrophobic. I need to move. So she gets up, causing a scene. Forks and silverware is dropping. Everybody had to
5 people had to get up
for her to get out, to come around and sit on the other side. When in the long run, we realized that she just didn't want to sit near them. It had nothing to do with being claustrophobic. She just wanted to sit near us.
Yeah, for me, I'm a mom, and my mom patience was through with it because I'm just like, what? So me and her ended up walking to the bathroom, and she seen I was irritated because I'm that friend, like, if you wrong, like, I love my family and friends enough to tell you when you're wrong. I don't care that we family. Like, I'm a be by your side, but I feel like if you truly care about somebody, you have to tell them about their behavior. And I went in that bathroom, I kind of yelled at her a little bit, and after that I reflect back on it, because she was trying to explain to me, like, Kanaya, no, because, and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. Like, that was too much. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, what are we doing here? Like, we're all together. Like, let's just get over it. Like, it's a new day. It's, like, let's move forward. It wasn't that serious.
It wasn't.
On top of that, our friend Aisha was like through with Tokyo too, even before the trip.
Even before the
like
trip,
the sarcasm on the text messages.
She was a bit much beforehand.
Her tone,
so like,
yeah, so like our friend Aisha, she's a very mild,
chill,
like you can't really figure her out. Like she don't talk, she don't share much, she don't talk much. So whatever she feeling was probably just all inside. But like, it got to the point, like, the next morning, like, Tokyo woke up and must have been like, good morning, and Aisha didn't.
Oh, wait, before we even get to the next morning.
Okay.
Remember, so we all order, the bill comes, right? So, I think we was passing it around. I think I put my money first.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, we was putting a little extra for, like, a tip or whatever.
Because we only had big bills, so it was just, like, put it up and get the change back.
Whatever, right. So it's going along the table. So once it reached to the cousins, and then it came back around, so I'm counting it. And I'm like, it's short. This not making sense. Like, and then some of us was putting extra money, so it wasn't making sense why it would be short if we was putting extra more than what we had to pay.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure it out, and then so that's when it started getting a little tense. And so I'm the type of person where I don't like chaos. I don't like confusion. I don't like difficulty. I don't like giving waiters a hard time and being embarrassed and causing a scene. So I just put up the extra money and just called it a day. So Kayla kind of got annoyed and was like, you shouldn't have to put up the extra money. And I'm like, it don't even matter at this point. Like, so then Tokyo got annoyed too and was like, I ain't finna be paying for no grown ABs.
Unnecessary. Flag on the play, but okay.
So girl,
I mean, we all felt that, but like, who's talking like that? You know, like,
and a hit dog gonna holler because I ain't feel no type of way.
The table got tense.
No type of way. The table got tense. The only ones who commented was the 3 cousins, and
well, I put my money up.
I put my money up, and I did see one of them put their money up, so I know
I think it wasn't.
Yeah, Brittany put her money up, so I know for sure it wasn't her. So I don't know where the mishap came or whatever the case may be, but it got tense at that point. Alright, so we left.
We had fun again. Yeah. This was the night we all did karaoke.
Oh yeah,
we did karaoke.
Yeah, so it was like at the table.
Tense, but we got
when we got back, it was cool. Wait, but then I remember, so like where me and Kiera, we roomed together. You, Kayla, and Tokyo roomed together, and then Naisha and the 3 cousins, they roomed together in the bigger room. So I remember me walking past to go to your room, because their room and Naisha and them room was right by each other. And I overheard one of the cousins, saying, counting her money and being like, I only got such and such amount of money left. I don't know how much it was, but she was basically saying that her money was getting low. Mind you, this is night 2, and we were in Italy for 8 nights, 9 days, 8 nights, I believe it was. And this is night 2, and she's counting her money, saying like her money's getting low, whatever the case may be. She only got X, Y, and Z left. So I'm like, that's odd, right? But whatever.
Yeah, the next morning, like, I think Naisha was just...
She was over it.
Yep. She didn't care to speak.
And we all was over it. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Woo.
Yeah,
we was over it. So that day... So the next morning, we actually was going to Capri that day. So we was all supposed to go to... Wait, let's go to the Mount Vesuvius. That's why we named one of the cousins Mount Vesuvius. So that was one of the things she wanted to do. And then, like, once we got on the trip, we was like, well, the stuff that we had planned that was already in our itinerary, y'all was saying y'all didn't want to do it no more when y'all initially agreed to it. And we technically didn't feel like doing Mount Vesuvius. So it was like, well, we're not going to do it. Y'all can do it if y'all want to.
Correct.
So she asked me, like, oh, when we gonna do it? And I'm like, well, I can't remember if I told her, like, we don't want to, or y'all just do it on your own, whatever the case may be, but whatever.
She was very upset.
She was upset.
I didn't understand.
So the next morning, now was the third day.
Yes.
We was like, all right, we're going to go to Capri for the day. Right. We're going to get on a boat or whatever.
Everybody was supposed to go to Capri.
Everybody's supposed to go.
Beautiful, beautiful island. Yep. If you go to Capri.
Yes, please go to Capri. Yes. Like, oh, the Amalfi Coast, beautiful. So we wake up, we getting ready. We was like, are we going to get breakfast first? And then we're going to take it was like a ferry to go over to Capri from Naples. And the 3 cousins are going.
They already left out the house.
They already left. Yes.
So we assumed they went to this mountain.
Right. Right. Yep. And Aisha was like, oh, they was saying they're going to go to Mount Vesuvius and then they were going to meet us in Capri.
Right.
Okay.
And Aisha wanted to see Capri as well. She
right. So she was with us. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So the 6 of us went to Capri. We took the ferry. The 3 of them did whatever they was doing. While we're in Capri, look who we see. So we're going to get, if you know Capri has like this chairlift that goes up
over the whole city,
over the whole right. Beautiful
you
view.
Can see everything.
So we're going there, and they're coming off, and we're like, they didn't speak.
Nope.
Nothing. So we're like, okay, that's weird.
Right.
Like. All right, so we going about our day. We do our thing. We get back to the Airbnb, and the next day we were going to Venice. So we get back, and we wanted to go get something to eat. So I think Mio and Tiana had went and grabbed something to eat. Kiara stayed back, and then they stayed back, Naisha and the cousins. So when we came back, we was like, all right, well, we're checking out the next morning to take the train to go to Venice. Let's clean up.
Also, when you were in the Airbnbs there, you got to pay taxes.
Yes.
So it was like literally $2, $3 a person,
like
right? That we would just leave on the counter for the whole, for the taxes.
And the Naples person, he never asked us for it, but Venice and Rome they asked for the taxes. It's like a city tax that you have to pay as a tourist or something like that. And I don't know if that's if you stay at hotels too, or if they include it in your hotels. But I know for sure the Airbnbs we had to pay it. But it was literally like maybe not even €5 a person. All right, so now we go to Venice. We're on a train. It was like a 4.5 hour train ride, something like that.
Before we even got on the train ride, Tokyo overheard the cousins in Mount Vesuvius like calling her the B word, like on the phone, like, I can't, this B, going, I'ma cuss her out. Like, she was talking vulgar about her, so she was like overhearing them discussing her, and she was like, I'm not gonna say nothing, right now, but like, it's gonna be a problem because they talk about me on the phone. So we kind of like dismissed it the first 2 nights or whatever like that. So now we get on the train the next day, and of course we got all this luggage. The train is tight.
that was going from Venice to Rome. You talking about when they got
right? Because by then it was done. I'm so sorry.
All right, yep.
I'm speeding up so fast.
So we get to Venice.
Yes.
And all right, so Venice, it was 3 bedrooms, right?
It was only 2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms?
Because I remember being pissed at Venice because I felt like, how didn't I get a bedroom? How didn't I get a bedroom? I was so irritated. Yeah. This was the rotation.
Yeah. So the Airbnb that we had for Venice, beautiful. Like right on the canal. Like we opened up our balcony doors. The balcony, we're literally right on the water. Like you could dip your foot.
Get a taxi. A taxi pulled up.
The taxi pulled. Yep. Yeah, so the guy whose Airbnb it was, he actually had 2. So initially I didn't see the bigger one. I saw the smaller one because it was only supposed to be 4 of us,
right?
So it was like 2 bedrooms, whatever, something like that. 2 bedrooms and I think a pull-out couch for the first one.
Yeah, we had
but once the group got bigger, then I was like, dang, I really like this Airbnb. I don't want to lose this one. So I happened to check his profile and I was like, oh, he has a bigger one. So but the bigger one wasn't that much bigger,
right? Very small,
but it accommodated 8 people, even though we had 9, but the smaller one accommodated I think 5 or 6, but the bigger one accommodated 8. So we was like, well, let's go with the 8 one because it was still the same but a little bit bigger.
Right.
All right, so we get there So we get to Venice, and it was already known in advance that me and Kiera was going to have the main room.
Which had a bathroom in there, shower.
And then whatever else, everybody else would figure it out.
Right.
So we get there, me and Kiera go to the main room.
I don't know. So that was like my first irritation. Nothing else really bothered me. But it was just something about feeling like, this is my friend's trip and my trip. Like, but I guess it only made sense why we did it that way, because the other bedroom had, what, 3 beds in here or 2?
It was 2 beds.
Okay, it was 2 beds. So
yeah. So we
kind of just put them.
We had the main room, which was like a king bed.
Right.
There was another bedroom that had two beds in there. And because it was 4 of them, so Naisha, her friend, and then the friend's 2 cousins, 4, it made sense. It could be 2 people per bed.
Correct.
And then it was.
So thinking back on it, it made sense.
Yeah, that's
but I
probably
was
why.
kind of like, why do they get a room?
And
you know
then her sister and Tokyo had to stay on a pull-out couch, which was kind of like,
we all pretty much was staying out there because we was up talking.
Yeah, we would be up till like 5 o'clock in the morning on a pull-out couch in the living room, just chilling anyway.
Right.
But it was still the simple fact, like, this was our trip, and it was on a pull-out couch, which made no sense. Like,
I'm over it now. Initially, I just felt like Venice was so tight. I was just like, it's so small.
Right.
So was Naples too.
Yeah, Naples was small too.
With them stairs.
But it kind of worked out because like each Airbnb kept getting bigger as we was going. So it worked out perfectly because we the end of the trip we was over it. Like, all right, so
separate quarters.
So we check in, we getting dressed now. So the vibe was kind of good.
Came back
a little bit. We taking pictures and stuff.
Yes.
So it was like, all right, we're gonna go do, because the next day it was supposed to like rain, it was supposed to drizzle. So it was like, well, let's go do the gondola now. Then we was gonna do dinner or whatever, and then the next day we was gonna explore. We had a wine tasting and then do whatever. So we go to do the gondola, and that was nice because the gondola was nice.
Everybody got dressed up.
We took beautiful pictures. I'm gonna insert some in here too because we was cute. And we were kind of riding next to each other because the gondola only fit, what, 5 people? Something like that. So we had to do 2 gondolas or whatever. So the gondolier people was like riding next to each other. So we were all together. It was so beautiful. Like Venice, A1. I loved it. That was a good vibe. Yeah. After the gondola, we went to dinner.
Beautiful.
This restaurant.
Yes.
That lasagna.
They loved the lasagna.
That lasagna. Baby, I loved it. So we get there and the guy, the hostess is like, do you guys all want to sit at the same table, or do you guys, or how do you want to do this? Because it's 9 of us.
Right.
So Tokyo was like, separate tables. So the cousins was irked.
Right. Again, it's just tone and how you said it. It's just like, come on, like, you could have just been like, oh yeah, separate tables because so many of us.
Right, like however you can make it work. If we have to do separate tables, that's fine. Is everything. If you can put us together, that's fine. But the way she said it was like, she didn't want to be near them. Like, absolutely not. Put us at separate tables, them and us. Like,
please and thank you.
Yeah. So we had dinner. Dinner was cool. Brittany even came over to us. She took group pictures. Those group pictures was actually really cute too while we were sitting at dinner.
Yes.
Oh, and this is where everything started going left. So we left and we went in late March, so the end of March into early April. So this is now the beginning of April that we're in Venice. So we're walking back, and at night it was like beautiful during the day, maybe like 70s, and then at night it would get a little chilly. You know, we're still in early spring weather.
Yes. There's no street signs that I could see. It's like kind of like written in a brick almost. Yeah,
like Venice is like hard, like to use like maps and stuff like that. It was on water. It's on water. Everything is on water. So like you would be using your maps and stuff, and it kind of helped for the most part. But then like certain parts, it was telling you to go places that you couldn't go because it was water. So it was so hard to get back to our Airbnb. We was lost. We was trying to figure it out.
We were like the mice in the maze because we kept circling around the same thing.
It was ridiculous. They'll be like, oh, go over the Rialto Bridge and then go this way, and then the other person, oh, go back over the Rialto Bridge and go. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So everybody was
we did irritated. That for about 15-20 minutes. It was literally.
It felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, it was a while.
But they wasn't even helping. Like it was a few of us that was trying to figure it out, but like the cousins and stuff, they was just in the back, not really helping. And then at one point, they kind of stopped us and was like, "This is Shawnee."
Yes.
And she said it so sarcastically.
Oh, nasty.
And I'm not even that type of person, like, but she said it so nasty, like, oh, can we stop? We walking too fast, something. She got a heart condition. She got health problems.
That nobody knew.
So, mind you, the only reason why we even knew was because Tokyo told us.
Correct.
Because what happened at the airport with her using a wheelchair. They still had never told us up until this point.
Day 4 at this point.
Yes. Yep. So, it was just the way she said it. Like, if she would have said it nicely, but she was just being nasty and rude to the point where I'm like, oh no. So we just continued on walking like by. No, first of all, number one, y'all not even trying to help to find.
They didn't have cell phone service either. They didn't have like international, so they didn't have any Wi-Fi either.
Yes,
they needed us to have Wi-Fi.
Go around and to call Uber, because I remember when Kayla came that second night, because out there the taxi service that they have like 8-person taxis, so it worked out perfectly for all 8 of us. But then once Kayla came that next night, we needed to split in 2 because now it would be 9 people.
Right.
So I'm like, oh well, y'all could download the taxi app and y'all could call y'all, you know, call it. It could be 5 people, 4 people, whatever.
Right.
They're like, can't we all just go in one, and can we just figure? And I'm like, I'm not squeezing 9 people in no 8-person taxi. Number one, every driver is not going to allow you to do that. So I'm not going to sit there and go through that each time we need to go somewhere and see if they're going to allow us. And then if they don't allow us, then we got to call another one. Yeah. I'm not doing that. Call the taxi and let's keep it pushing. Let's go.
That's it. That's all.
Right.
How much were you right?
Yep. So we get back to the Airbnb, and now it's like
tense again.
It's tense. Because now they upset because we walk fast. But outside of that,
but Fatu started walking fast. That's she's a fast walker.
I'm a fast walker, period. Right.
But the sarcasm did not make her stop.
It did not make me stop. And I'm the type of person, talk to me with respect. Like, don't, and that's what it was for me. Like, it was a respect thing. Like, absolutely not. If you would have talked nicely, I would have slowed down. Okay,
and then, in the midst of that too, Tokyo, once they said it nastily, she was like, well, I'm cold or something. And then Shawnee, she had on like this mesh see-through dress, very sexy, very beautiful. It was giving what it was supposed to give.
It was beautiful, right?
The girl Shawnee, the one who stopped us nasty and sarcastically, was like, well, if you ain't have that outfit on, you wouldn't be cold. So then Tokyo said,
wait, this was at the sit down, so we got back to the Airbnb.
Remember when Tokyo said, I don't give a F about her like be sickness, and then she started walking fast too when we was outside. It got crazy. Right.
So we get back to
I'm sitting there stuck. I got see my friends walking over, but I feel bad for them. They ain't got no Wi-Fi, so I'm kind of like trailing behind a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want nobody to I didn't take it like as it was a direct towards me, so I was still trying to like stay behind. And finally we made it back.
Yeah, we made it back
in separate batches, right? Then we had to sit down.
Us in the first group, and then them in the second group with the cousins.
Right.
So then the attitudes was just the energy was just bad. So
I lit a candle. I wanted a therapy session.
Yeah.
I lit a candle.
I think it was you. I think she came up with the idea. Like, we need to have a sit down conversation and let's clear the air, because this is just getting terrible.
Her best friend Kiera was the coolest She cracked the bottle of wine. She was over it too.
I think Kiera and Aisha are like the chillest people. Like, they just so calm. They ain't into no drama, none of that. Like, and even Kiera and Aisha was over it. Like, it was bad. Yep. So we was like, all right, let's have a conversation. So the 8 of us was out there. Shawnee, the one cousin, she ain't even want to be bothered. She stayed in the room and did not come out.
She didn't come out. She made it seem, they said that they tried to make it seem like she was going to sleep, but then she was on her Instagram. She was on her Instagram looking at stories and posting stuff. So it was like, it was very childish to me, and it was like, I don't got time for that right there. Like, that was the solidification for me that you don't have the adult ability to like talk. Like, all 8 of us out here trying to talk it out to get the rest of the trip on board, and it's giving like you the ringleader of the mess with them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not cliquey like that. Like, that is child's play to me. That is very much elementary school type of stuff. So I just left that there where that was at, and
that's where I caught the smoke with the itinerary. So during the sit down, they started going through, and I really didn't have no issue. Like, the beef wasn't between me and nobody.
They were just mad at you about this itinerary.
They was. The one cousin was mad at me about the Mount Vesuvius that she was. So Mount Vesuvius was mad at me about the Mount Vesuvius that she wanted to go to. And she kept going on and on and on about it. And I think at that one point, Naisha did say something. She was like, all right, now, like, come on.
Because at this point, it was
because at this point, y'all grown. Like, they're older than us.
Yes.
So if y'all wanted to go, nobody is holding y'all back saying y'all can't go. Y'all can go, take a taxi, go, come back, we can meet up. Like,
and that we know you got this health element. It's like, how was you getting up this
trying
mountain?
to climb this mountain volcano
It's not
thing?
easy.
Like,
that was like hiking, you know?
It really is. Like, So the issue was really between Tokyo, so her friend, and then the 3 cousins. They the ones who had the grievances, really. So they kind of was like hashing it out.
Right.
So it was getting a little tense at one point because Mel Vesuvius said something to Tokyo about her outfit and it being see-through, and that's why she was cool, because she basically didn't have no clothes on or something. And then Tokyo was coming at her about how she was trying to climb this mountain, knowing that she got issues going on. And
saying like, Tokyo would say things like, I didn't come on this trip to babysit nobody. Just saying what people was thinking on some level. I didn't feel that way, but it's just like, yeah, like, we're not going to slow it down that much because y'all didn't tell us this stuff. Like, we probably wouldn't have said agreed to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that would have been unfair to people that we paid money to as well.
Exactly. When Tokyo said that part about her wanting to do that with her health conditions, Brittany got the one cousin, she stood up. She stood up. Yes. Like, it was bad.
Right. Yeah.
But towards the end of it, like, we was able to come together and be like, all right, we're gonna have a good day tomorrow. Like, let's just, this is childish. It's ridiculous. Like, so the next day, we explored, and then we did like shopping. We had a wine tasting in the evening, and the wine tasting was another issue because when I initially found a wine tasting, we all booked.
Yes.
But the cousins didn't book yet. So by the time that they waited to book, there wasn't availability for all of them. So they had to book. They were still able to book for the same day, but I think like an hour or so later, or whatever the case, after us. So then they got mad at me and said that when we go on trips or something like that, I need to find stuff that can accommodate everyone. Which I was very confused, because if y'all would have booked when we all booked, y'all would have been able to get in at the same time. I didn't tell y'all to wait. So, whatever. But
wine tasting was hilarious. That wine out there, tore down, like holding on to the walls to get back to the room. It was so fun.
It was fun.
Yes. We had them playing like Meat Mills and Tokyo had turned it
on in there. They was playing Meat. You know, we was riding for our city. So when they came back from their wine tasting, I think we came back to the Airbnb afterwards because we were going to dinner later, and then they came back, and Shawnee was like drunk as ever. Like, it was bad. Like, they came back and they were like, the people were about to call the police on them because she was throwing up in the streets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just no control of her liquor. That was bad. So what happened the next day? The next day we were only in Venice for 2 nights, and then the next day we was going to Rome.
God.
So we get on the train. Now we're going, and we all got bags and stuff. So Tokyo is in front of Mount Vesuvius and them. So I didn't hear this part because some of the stuff I was just missing. Like, I ain't even had the energy. But Mount Vesuvius said something to Tokyo about her taking her time and there's people behind that. Mind you, everybody has luggage, so we're all trying to get situated, put our luggage up, and sit down. But she said something smart to Tokyo about her moving too slow or something like that, and Tokyo snapped.
Because at this point, Mount Vesuvius was out of line. Like, nobody could move, so she was waiting for a lady to, I think, like, move her luggage, or because there was people getting off, coming on at the same time. And Tokyo was just over it, like, and she said it like right dead point, like, if she say call me another B,
it's gonna be a problem,
pretty much.
And she even told Naisha, she was like, Naisha, you better get your friend. This is why we're on the train. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But luckily, the Airbnb in Rome was like 2 levels. It was it was 3 levels. Actually.
It was huge because they had the deck up there.
It was 4 actually. The bottom level had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, which Naisha and the 3 cousins, they stayed on the first floor. The second level had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom where me, my friend Kiara, Tokyo, and Kayla stayed. And then the third level had like another was area with the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and another bathroom. And then the 4th level was like a deck. Outside, so it was like a terrace, so it was outside. Beautiful Airbnb. So it worked out perfectly because at this point,
The space was needed.
The space was very much needed.
It was needed.
So we got there, and Tokyo was like, I can't be around her. Yeah. We gonna be fighting. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I'm not trying to deal with this. Like, I came here to have a good time. Right. I've always wanted to come to Italy. Like,
so Naisha and Fatu and us basically came up with like we would just split the group. Right. And it was so unfortunate. Naisha. It
was so unfortunate because like we
wanted to hang out with Naisha.
Exactly. Like me, her, Naisha, and Kiera, we traveled all of the time. Like before Italy, after Italy, always traveled together. So it was just so unfortunate. I text Naisha like, can you come upstairs to the 3rd level so we could talk privately? I'm like, listen, I'm like, the incident that happened on the train, I'm like, Tokyo isn't feeling it. I'm like, it seems like it's going to be a problem. I was like, so let's just split the group. Like, you and the cousins go and do your thing, and then we go and do our thing. And she's like, all right. But yeah, so I was like, y'all go and do your thing, and then me and them will do our thing, because we got to split this group. It's too much. Sorry for the fire truck. So it was unfortunate because she like, dang, I wanted to hang with y'all, like whatever. So we just did it.
We was missing her.
We was like, and it was like we barely was even on the same trip because they was on the 1st level, we was on another level. We barely seen each other being in and out.
Is that when we went to the museum and we seen them too? And
yeah, and they speak. Yep. Yeah. So basically, at this point, we was doing our own thing. We did end up seeing them because we went to the Vatican. While we were leaving the Vatican, I think they were going to the Vatican. They walked right by us like this.
Crossing the street.
Ain't say a word.
Yes.
Ain't say a word.
Nope.
Like,
My God.
I'm trying to think. Did anything else? At that point, like, the group was split. So we really didn't see them much.
How did we end up back when we got to the mall?
We did see them once because we did the what's them things called? Segways. We did the segways. So we did do the segways.
Yes.
That was really fun. Before we did the segways, that was the last full day. But the night before, no, that might have been the same night. I can't remember. At one point, we went to the club, and we was just like, dang, like, we wish Naisha was here. Yes. Like, we wish they all come, honestly.
That club
like,
was the best.
Right. That club
Our Uber driver told us about it. Or, some young guy, like, he
took us there,
to the food place.
And then to the club. We had a really, we went to the food place after the club, right?
We did.
That was a fun night. So we went to the club, and we like, dang, like,
we missed our friend. Yeah, it was like
so. We ended up texting Aisha like, "Yo, we at this club. Like, come on, y'all. Like,
come on,
let's have fun. Like, this is ridiculous and just petty. Like, it don't make no sense."
Yeah.
So they ended up coming. We was having a good time. Even Brittany like was having a good time with us. She was dancing with us, and you could kind of tell that Shawnee still had an issue. Like, she was not trying to vibe. She was even looking at her cousin Brandy like, "Why? Oh, you hanging with them? Like, why you dancing with them? Like, it was just so childish. Like."
They sat in the corner like while everybody was dancing,
like while we was having a good time. Her and the other cousin just like was doing their own thing. But it was like whatever, as long as we here for the most part, that's good.
Right. We got to hang out with Naisha, so it was a good time.
Yeah. So then the next day we had the Segway tours. That was our last.
We was up late that night.
We was up late, like
so. Some
we didn't come in the house until like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
It was fun.
We probably only had 2 hours of sleep, and then we had to get up for the Segway. But I still got up too. I don't know how I did, but I got up. But I'm glad I did because it was fun. It was so much fun. Yeah. But yeah, we did that. I can't remember what else we did that night, but yeah. But once we was leaving,
we went out that night because we forgot to mention how Tokyo was complaining about all the food at the restaurant. How can we forget?
Yes. So that was another thing with Tokyo. Every restaurant we went to, she would complain about the food. If the food wasn't to her satisfactory, if her noodles wasn't al dente,
marinara.
At the restaurant that we went to the second night where the issue came where the bill wasn't paid for, whatever the case may be, she ordered calamari and was asking them for marinara sauce. Now a lot of the stuff that we eat over here is pretty much made up American fake Italian food. So like spaghetti and meatballs is not even a thing, whatever the case may be. She was asking for marinara and they were so confused what she was talking about.
Understand.
Like,
we could not
kept going on and on and on and on and on about this marinara. It was like, girl, just eat your calamari and call it a day.
It's cold at this point.
Right. So there was
let it go.
Would not let it go.
Even the people at the other table was trying to translate.
There was a lady at another table. It was 2 ladies. One of them, they understood English, so they were trying to translate to one girl was trying to translate to the waiter, and her one friend was kind of getting annoyed, like, what, stop helping them, like, no, nobody have time for this. Like, it was ridiculous. And then like every restaurant we went to, if her food wasn't done, or if this was wrong, that was done, or she found hair in her food. Mind you, she had like long, pretty bundles in, and like bundles they shed. So even when we was in our Airbnbs, like hair would be over the sink when she would be like wetting her hair. So I'm like, well, maybe it's your hair that's in it. Like it can't be hair in your food at every restaurant, or something wrong with your food at every restaurant. Like it was just always something. Like it's always something. Like
I'm with you. Like,
woo. So yeah. So we ended up back on bad terms towards the end of the trip. I ended up, because I ain't had no issues with nobody for, although yes they got on my nerves, but I still didn't have like me one-on-one having an issue with anybody, like even though they got on my damn nerves. But yeah. So I can't remember, I know we was getting in separate taxis of course because all of the bags. So I went downstairs, sat by to them, whatever. I forgot. Rewind back to Venice. Okay. So remember when we talked about those city taxes that you had to pay? You had to give it to the Airbnb host. So the Airbnb in Venice was under my name. Naples was her name.
Yes.
Rome, Naisha booked it. So I'm like, all right, it's such and such amount of person, y'all. Like, because we was about to get, the water taxi was coming up to our Airbnb dock to take us to the train station to go to Rome.
Yes.
I probably said it like 2 or 3 times. Everybody gave me their money except for the cousins. So now Tokyo is annoyed, and she's like, she takes the money from me and she goes into the room like, she said
we need the money. Well, guess who got the money?
She got the money.
She went and got that money. Thanks, friend.
I'm like, yo, like, mind you, I had already advised this. Like, when I do my research on trips, like, I do my research for real. So I knew this. Like, I advised everybody of this before.
How much dollar amount we would even
the dollar amount,
with
like
spending money and everything.
Like what we was doing, like what certain things cost, just so everybody had an idea of how much money you was going to change over or whatever the case may be. So it wasn't a surprise. None of these city taxes and none of that. So yeah, that's that. At one point I remember in Venice when the night we had to sit down where we had to kind of get it together, like it was Real Housewives of Atlanta or something. And then it was cool, and then the next day we was like, all right, we're gonna go out, we're gonna do this group thing. And Brittany was like, well, I'm gonna just let y'all know now, but I'm running low on money. Like, they was basically low on money. That like they didn't have enough money, period. Like,
how much did you say you have? I think you said 15. It was about 1,500, like, and spending money and stuff with everything that we had.
I think it was like 1,000
or maybe 1,200,
something like that. Yeah, I think everybody changed over at minimum. I think everybody changed over $1,000 US to euros just to have like cash. I think
they probably split the $1,000 amongst the two, and it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, because they was trying to eat McDonald's and stuff. Like, I remember one point when we was in Venice, like when we got there, we was like, are we gonna go out to dinner? The one Shawnee somebody, I didn't hear it, but somebody said that Shawnee said that, oh, she saw a buffet or something like that. And even when it came to the gondola, remember, she didn't want to do the gondola no more once we got there. She was like, we could just take a water taxi. Mind you, the gondola was only what, 20-25 euros a person. I'm like, I'm not taking no water taxi. Not the water bus or whatever she was trying to take, because it was cheaper. It probably was like 2-3 euros. I'm like, that's a regular bus. Like, that's like regular public transportation. Like, no, I want to do a gondola. But yeah, that's just like little things about the money issue that was going on.
Oh, and then like our first dinner that we tried to go to that first night we got there. We only sat down and we got like Cokes, like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and there was a few people, maybe like 3 or 4 people who got something to eat.
Water.
Not something to eat, but something to drink, like water or
because once we realized they didn't have any food, we was like, oh, we're gonna go to
another restaurant. So Shawnee ended up paying. It probably was like 20 euros or less for everybody drinks, and she's like, well, when we go to the next restaurant, you know, y'all can give it to me, whatever the case may be. Child, we get to the next restaurant. This was the first night that we got there in Naples. We all ordered our food. Now the bill came. So those of them, because I know I didn't get anything to drink, but those of them who did get something to drink, Shawnee was like, oh, wow, don't forget y'all owe me money for the drink. Mind you, it might have been like 2-3 euros a person for the drink. And she was like, really like, oh, don't forget y'all owe me money for the drink, so put it towards the bill. It was like, whoa, like,
for the bill to still be short.
Yeah, it was, but that was crazy. But yeah, so that last day, it kind of got back on bad terms. It was like real awkward. Like, I said bye to everybody while we was going to the airport. We got to the airport, and I think we all, no, we all wasn't on the same flight, but I know we,
the mega bus was awkward.
We landed We got the mega bus to Philly, and then everybody was getting their rides or Ubers or whatever home. And I remember, like, nobody said bye to each other. Like, everybody just got in their car or in their Uber or whatever the case may be, they ride and just left.
Right.
And I remember getting to work. I think I went to work that next day. And I think we was on the phone, and we hadn't even talked to Naisha. And I was like, this is so awkward. Like, and I was like, I'm about to call Naisha. I was like, because this whole trip and them girls and them, they ain't messing up my friendship with my friend, like, period. Like, so I called Naisha, so we had a discussion about the trip, and she was like, I'm so happy you called, because she was like, the trip was just so awkward. And I was like, it was just ridiculous how everything went down. Like, me, her, and Naisha ended up going out to eat after the fact, and like talked about it, and was like, you know, moving forward, like, let's not go on trips with other people. And because that was, so that's just a tip. One, I'm gonna give 2 tips. Okay. One, don't go on a big group trip. Right. Period. Because everybody with their different personalities and this and that. I feel like if you're gonna go on one, maybe go to like a resort where you at like different, everybody got their own rooms, and y'all don't have to be together. You gotta pay your own stuff. Like, because when it comes to paying for stuff and when it comes to different personalities, it just don't mix. And then number 2, don't go on a trip with people that you don't know and haven't traveled with before. Yeah, I think that's too good. Because it was a very interesting trip.
But over the last couple years, few years, like, we find something to laugh about it every time we see each other. Like, so it's funny now.
It literally is funny now. Like, in the moment, it was just like, yo, we literally in Italy, and these girls are acting crazy. Like, I've always wanted to go. One of my dream trips. We was actually supposed to go back about a year or so ago, but that didn't happen. We ended up going somewhere else. But I want to go back to Italy. I want to go in the summertime. Good group of people, good vibes, and just good energy. Like, I'm all about good energy. Like, we went to Greece, not last year now, but the year before, 2022. It was just so refreshing. Like, good energy. It was me, Naisha, Kiera, and one of Kiera's friends, Janaea. Like, it was just the best trip ever. Like, good energy, good vibes. Like, and that's how trips are supposed to be. Like, vibes, for sure. So Greece, we got to do that. I want to go back. But yes, going back to Italy, got to do part 2 and have good vibes and good people. That's it. That's all. But yeah, that was that.
If y'all want to see clips of some of these
people, I actually did vlog it.
Yes, so watch this video. You can either come back and comment here or comment on that video. Tell us who you think, who y'all think Tokyo is, Mount Vesuvius, Shawnee, Brittany, and then Kayla, Naisha.
Right, Kayla, Naisha, and Kiera. And then as you watch the vlog, you kind of see, like, it starts to dwindle off. Like, you know, the people that you see in the beginning wasn't quite in it towards the end. Like, you'll see it. But yeah, it's no bad vibes. Like, I'm still friends with them on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. I haven't seen them since. Kiera did see one of them. Did she see Shawnee? I think Shawnee came into her job one time. Okay. But it's no bad vibes. Like, we still, I mean, we was never friends, but we're still friends on like Instagram. Like, Shawnee might comment every once in a while, like if I go on vacation on my birthday, stuff like that. She'll look at my story, I look at her story. It's no, but like, I really didn't have an issue directly with anybody. It was just the vibes that was going on for me. Like, it was just too much, the bad energy. But it was never again.
I didn't see any of them after that. I didn't even have an Instagram at the time. So yeah, I wasn't following anybody. It got so petty to the point, like, when people were started posting pictures at the end of the trip, they were blocking people's faces
cropping people out, blocking them,
putting faces over it. Wow.
Just still doing petty stuff after the trip. It was just like, oh my gosh, like, I cannot. But yeah, that was the first and the last trip that I will ever do with them.
Oh my gosh.
We've been on plenty of trips since, and we're going on plenty of trips coming up this summer. 2024 is lit, and stay tuned for those vlogs. I know I haven't posted in a long time, and I always keep saying I'm gonna get better, but I really am.
Hopefully this story time.
Yes.
Make y'all excited for the next trip.
But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye.
Deuces.